I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City.
The city that never sleeps is facing an unprecedented challenge, and the implications seem dire. New York City is coming ever closer to breaking point when it comes to the migrant crisis, and Mayor Eric Adams doesn't appear to have any easy ways out. In a town hall meeting, Mayor Adams addressed concerned residents and acknowledged the gravity of the situation, expressing his frustration with the lack of federal government support.
We're getting no support on this national crisis, and we're receiving no support. And let me tell you something, New Yorkers. Never in my life have I had a problem that I did not see an ending to. I don't see an ending to this. I don't see an ending to this. This issue will destroy New York City. Destroy New York City.
With over 10,000 migrants arriving in the city every month, the metro area is now home to more than 110,000 new migrants, and it's taking a significant toll on the city's resources. Mayor Adams' office estimates that the crisis will cost New York City a staggering $12 billion over the next 3 years. And without a clear exit strategy, tensions are rising. Protests have taken place across the 5 boroughs as frustrated residents clash over limited resources and growing uncertainty, and the situation appears to be spiraling out of control. Mayor Adams has changed his tune on the migrant crisis over the past few years, previously telling ABC that
You pledged during your campaign to keep New York City a sanctuary, a city. Do you have any concern that policy is attracting more people to the border, more people to cross the border to make that dangerous trip?
No, not at all. This city has always been a sanctuary city, and we've always managed those who wanted to come to New York City.
And in a tweet in October 2021, Mayor Adams asserted that, quote, New York City will remain a sanctuary city under the Adams administration. However, just a year later, Adams declared a state of emergency as migrants who had crossed the U.S. southern border were being bused to the Big Apple, putting significant strain on the city's homeless shelter system. Adams has described the situation as a humanitarian crisis. In 2023, Adams traveled to the Mexico border city of El Paso and declared that
there is no more room in New York.
And in April, he claimed that Washington had turned its back on New York.
Let me tell you something. I've been in the city. I'm 72 years old. I was a New York City cop and also a detective. I went through the turbulent 70s of crime soaring, and then the 80s with the murders, with 2,000 murders a year, crime all over the place. The problem today, we fought it. Cops were able to arrest people for these crimes. Today, what's happening is the cops are not even arresting anybody anymore because they don't want to get involved. What has happened, that officers who get involved with arresting people for committing crimes, all of a sudden they're being fired, they're being micromanaged, and they said like this, I'm not going to lose my pension. So what we have in New York City right now is a city under siege. I just drove by 50th Street, Lexington Avenue, an old hotel that was closed down is being reopened. They're stuffing all these migrants in any and every place they can. But this thing is going crazy. They're not even bidding on it. They're just handing out contracts and contracts. Right now, we're on line right now where we're probably going to have a $16 billion deficit for New York City. New York State, the controller said it'll be anywhere from 40 to 50 billion dollars. New York City's going to go bankrupt. New York State's going to go bankrupt. 500,000 people have left New York City, taxpayers, and went to Florida. So your tax income's not going to be coming in. They're going to be laying off cops, laying off firemen, and this thing is going to look real ugly. I went through the 1970s where we had a problem before we almost went bankrupt. This is worse because, as I said, the influx is there. And if they don't, the mayor should be with that governor. The governor went down to Washington to meet with Biden. You know who she met with? I think she met with the janitor. Biden wouldn't even talk to her. She's the governor of the greatest state in this nation, and she didn't even get an audience with the president. Right now, the only way we can stop it is seal the border in the south and in the north and stop the migration right now. My daughter's a school teacher in New York City. Now, all of a sudden, the schools are going to be lumped in. They say there's about 25,000 kids they're going to pack into the classroom. Majority of them don't speak English. Where is the education for our kids that are in there? Now we're talking about feeding over $350,000 a week, feeding people, immigrants. Now you got hotel rooms that were SROs that were selling for $80 a night. Now they're paying the city $450 a night. It's like craziness going on across the city. Nobody's getting their arms around it. We have a state here. New York City is the greatest city in the world, but we are going down fast. My eyes have never seen New York this bad. Then all of a sudden we have a city council here, which I'm actively involved in trying to take the funding away from the city council, because the mayor has told me, and many times he gets blocked by the city council. We're a sanctuary city. Well, the mayor should step up and say, we are not a sanctuary city anymore, and stop the migration. The buses that show up, he should have them turned around by the state police and let them go back to wherever the hell they came from. Because right now, we're just opening the borders up. And hey, if you're in Central America or in Africa even, and you're hearing, wow, you come to New York City, you get a free cell phone. Half of them are now getting these motorbikes for free, and food, cell phone, lodging. Why wouldn't you come to New York City? And that's why New York City is being destroyed.